When designing a training program, the program designer and the athlete should take into account a number of factors. This is because each can affect the type of program that needs to be designed, the amount of time spent doing it, and the level of difficulty involved. First of all, we need to consider the types of training. There are 4 types of training. The first is aerobic training, and it has 4 functions. Firstly, to increase the efficiency of your aerobic energy system. Secondly, to increase your body's ability to deliver and use oxygen. Thirdly, to reduce the chance of developing heart disease. And fourthly, to maintain ideal body weight. The second type of training is anaerobic training. This occurs when your body is exercising at a rate that your blood cannot supply oxygen to your muscles fast enough. It is high-intensity exercises that cannot be done for long periods of time. This is when our body produces lactic acid because our muscles are being deprived of oxygen. One of the best ways to improve our anaerobic fitness is via interval training, where there are short bursts followed by recovery periods. The third type of training is strength training. It is an integral part of most training programs designed for improved performances. The goal of strength training should always be to develop correct technique, individualize the program to identify specific strengths and weaknesses, and to meet the specific short-term goals. The fourth type of training is flexibility. The aim of flexibility is to improve the range of movement about a joint. When including this type of training, the individual's age, gender, and exercise history should always be considered. The second part of this video is going to talk about training principles. There are a number of training principles that underpin an effective training program. The first is a warm-up. All training programs should begin with a whole body movement and stretching exercises to allow the participant to mentally prepare, to increase their core body temperature, to increase blood supply to the muscles, and to promote flexibility to reduce the chance of injury. The second training principle is the cool down. This should be included at the end of each session to remove lactic acid, to enable the heart to gradually return to normal, and to stretch the muscles. The third principle of overload exists in recognition that the body changes to adapt to cope with exercise that is more intense or difficult than the body is used to. By overloading the body, people increase their level of fitness. Once the body has adapted to new, increased workloads, the workload should then be increased again so that the person continues to gain improvements. Knowing when to make these adjustments is crucial to the exercises program's success. If there is too little overload, the person will not fulfill their potential, whereas too much may result in fatigue or injury. Reversibility is the fourth principle, and this exists in recognition of the fact that a decrease in training will also result in a decreased training effect. Specificity is the fifth principle, and it relates to the body adapting to specific ways, and that the greatest gains in sporting performances occur when the movements that are involved in training are similar to the movements involved in the person's chosen sport or activity. For example, jogging will not result in increased strength. All training programs should use a variety of training types, which is the next principle. This will ensure that the person does not get bored and maintains motivation. And lastly, training thresholds. This means that the training program should be at an intensity that is relevant to the chosen sport or activity. For example, if a person is training for an aerobic event, the program should increase exercises for that intensity. So the training principles to recap are warm-up, cool-down, overload, reversibility, specificity, variety, and training programs.